and use AMF that can score. They have good finishing, and Messi and Ronaldinho have good finishing. So hello guys, it's your boy eFootball Goat. I'm back again with another manager review video. So guys, today we are going to be reviewing Carlo Ancelotti formation, the current Real Madrid manager. He is the MILLESI in eFootball. So let's go straight into the manager review. So his offensive and defensive formation is 4-2-2. So guys, 4-2-2-2. So guys, there is something crazy and awesome about this formation. It doesn't have a CF. So let's see his offensive tactics. So his offensive tactics is possession game. Build up is his attacking style is possession game. Build up is short pass. Attacking areas is wide. Positioning is flexible, and defensive style is frontal pressure. Containment area is wide. Pressing is aggressive, and the defensive tactics and the offensive tactics are similar, if not the same. They are the same. So let's go to the kind of players you will need to play this formation. So I've set up everything already. So guys, this formation doesn't have a CF. So what you need to pay attention is whoever you are using as your left wing forward, whoever you are using as your right wing forward, whoever you are using as your AMF, make sure these players have good finishing. They must know how to score goals. And make sure it is important you use a player who is very, very fast on your left wing forward and your right wing forward. And use AMF that can score. They have good finishing. And Messi and Ronaldinho have good finishing. So we have other great players in these positions. So you can also convert this position to a central midfield, but I will advise you to do that. Stick to the attacking midfield forward, because if you do that, the formation will be too bad for you to play. So make sure you stick with the AMF. So we have players in this position that can play very great, like Bruno Fernandes in the AMF position. We have Beckham, who can play in this position. Figo, on the other hand, in the right wing forward, we have other great players there. Like also Messi can play here. He can play Messi in that position. Any version of Messi you have is okay. He can play in that position. So make sure you use a fast right wing forward. So the formation came with two defensive midfielders. So I will advise you to stick to the two defensive midfielders. But if you want to convert anyone to central midfielder, make sure the player will be good defensively and offensively. So, but I will advise you to stick with two defensive midfielder with a good defensive awareness. So always go with defensive midfielder with good defensive awareness, like a very, very good defensive awareness, aggression and ball winning. Make sure it is very, very good. So in the center back, I will advise you to go with one build up and one destroyer. So build up are very good, destroyers are very good. Don't go using an extra front man. I won't advise to use an extra front man. Stick with one build up and one destroyer, and make sure that defensive awareness, aggression, ball winning is very, very good. So make sure it's very, very good. And in the fullback, you can use an offensive fullback or a defensive fullback or a build-up fullback. It doesn't matter. Just make sure they have good passing, they have decent speed to go forward to support attack. And again, you have to make sure whoever you are using doesn't get tired quickly on the fullback position. Make sure whoever you are using here doesn't get tired. The stamina is very, very good. So you don't want to be changing a fullback while you are playing the game. So on the goalkeeping position, you can use an offensive goalkeeper or a defensive goalkeeper. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can use a fullback, an offensive goalkeeper. They rush forward when the opposition is on one-on-one with them. They always rush forward. So, but a defensive goalkeeper goalkeeper don't rush forward when they are one-on-one. Instead, they sit back, but they're very, very good. So let's talk about the bench. On the bench, what I normally do on the bench, I put 2 or more players that can play in multiple positions on the bench. For example, I can choose to play Beckham as an AMF. I can choose to play him as an AMF. He is very, very good in that position. And I can choose to play Beckham as a right wing forward by playing him here and converting it to SS. If I can do that. But I can also do that and play him in this position and convert it to SS. So use a player that can play in multiple positions. So that is what I always do. That is what I always do. And for Rashford can play here. He can play as a left wing forward and he can play as a right wing forward. So make sure you use players that are that can play in multiple positions, and pay attention. Make sure you have one goalkeeper in case your first choice goalkeeper got a red card or is not match fit, and make sure you have one center back. Is very, very important, one center back. And since this formation came with 2 defensive midfielder, what you have to do is either you use one defensive midfielder on your bench, or you use a central midfield forward who can play in a defensive midfield position. And Kante is one of these players who can play as a center midfield forward and also as a defensive midfielder. So it's highly, highly recommended you use players that can play in multiple positions. And in the central forward, you can put a super sub like Haaland, Origi, and more, or you can just put a force in the box, or you can put any player in this position. But since this formation doesn't have a CF, what I will do is I will take it out because it's totally not needed. It's totally not needed. So I would rather bring in another player that can play maybe AMF or central midfield position. So I can bring in Foden in that position, or I can choose to bring another AMF in that position. So it's your choice. It's your choice. So since the formation doesn't have a CF, so guys, that is it on this video. I said let me let you guys know about this formation, no CF formation, and how to use them. So make sure you use a good player. Pay attention. I will say this before I end the video. Make sure your AMF has good finishing, has a very decent speed. Is very, very important. Make sure your left wing forward has a very good finishing and a decent speed. Is very, very important. So guys, that is it on today's video. See you guys in my next video and stay safe out there. Peace out.